No, put that down.
Oh.
Put that down. It's time for episode 4 of The Mandalorian. Let's do it. All right, what's up, guys? As you can tell, we have Baby Yoda joining us today.
We'll see if this even pops up.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I can't put green on the damn screen, gall darn it.
Way to go.
I forgot about it. Oh, but Joe, everybody still thinks you're adorable. All right. Take it off. I'm not sure if it's working or not. Oh, damn, that sucks. But guys, welcome to another review of The Mandalorian. First, I want to thank our sponsors, Stardust app. If you don't know, it's a completely free app where you can discuss all the latest movies, all the latest television shows. We are on the app, and if you follow us at AngryJoeShow with a new account, we get $1. So that's how you support the show directly. And big thanks to Stardust app for supporting the Angry Joe Show and making these reviews possible. Yep. And we really thank them. All right, let's jump straight into the review, guys, because in my opinion, we have yet another great episode. However, some things are starting to, I don't know, I'm starting to see a little cracks here and there. And we'll get to those in a second.
Warning, spoilers.
Yes.
All of these reviews are spoiled from this point on, or last one, or have some spoilers.
Have some spoilers. Finally, we get Cara Dune. I've been waiting this whole time for Gina Carano, my crush, and literally crush in American Gladiators. And she was a MMA fighter with a perfect record until she fought Cyborg. It's great. Oh, my God. I was so anticipating her return. But first, actually, let me not forget for a second episode in a row. Last episode, we forgot to include the stuff we forgot, because I like doing those.
We forgot the stuff we forgot.
We forgot the stuff we forgot.
It happens.
I want to go over stuff we forgot last episode and stuff we forgot this episode or the previous episode. So stuff we forgot in episode 3. I already covered that. Let's see, I covered that. Force healing powers not seen before. There's Yoda seemed to want to, not Yoda, but Yodle seemed to want to heal his wound on his arm as if he could do something about it. If he did, that would have been a force healing power we had never seen before, perhaps setting up Rise of Skywalker. Maybe we might see new light side powers in Rise of Skywalker. They might have teased it there. No,
okay. Not at all.
And then finally, the Empire kidnapping Force-sensitive kids I wanted to talk about. And all the comic books and the lore in between a certain time period, they were there was an actual operation done by the Emperor to do that. So maybe that ties into this little Force-sensitive baby. So that was all the stuff we forgot from episode 2 on episode 3. Now we're going to the stuff we forgot in episode 4. Okay, Alex, they probably reuse the fobs. You asshole. You idiot. You thought that they were one-time use, throw them away. No, the reason why everybody still had a fob
he turned them in.
Is because
we all watched a scene earlier in episode 2 where he turns them in.
Oh, well, I don't remember that scene. But what I'm saying is, and what a lot of people were saying in the comments, is potentially they reuse their fobs for new contracts over and over. So it's like a cell phone, exclusive to assassination. Let's see. Rockets to minimize damage to Yodle. I have no idea. Oh, the whistling birds. The reason why he used the whistling birds so soon and in that situation is, he was taking out stormtroopers left and right, But granted, he had Yodle in his arms or close to him, and he wanted to limit the collateral damage, and the best way to do that is to fire off his whistling things. Pointing out our reviews and discussions are longer than the episode itself. That does not result in a prize, guys. You do not get a prize for calling that out.
It's not our fault.
It's not our fault that the episodes are shorter, because this is not only a review, but a discussions and a spoiler section. So chill out, guys. There's no prize involved there. And then finally, somebody pointed out, why didn't y'all talk about the first vibro blade on screen? You're so right. When he whips out, we did.
We definitely mentioned
but
it,
I
'cause it was
wanted to
cool.
go in depth because it was cool as fuck. It's the first time we see in Star Wars live action that vibro blade, and hopefully we get to see the dark blade, the dark saber. That would be really, really cool. And then the fact that the Mandalorian loves his disintegrator. Even the other bounty hunters are like, that's a damn cool weapon, and it's feared in the galaxy.
Yeah, it is.
It ties into the no disintegrations scene, when the Vader scene in the original Star Wars, where he points specifically to Boba Fett, says no disintegrations.
Yeah, because you get shot with that, you're dead. If you get shot with something else, you can live, but you're dead.
Yeah.
I also said that it felt like a video game, and I was trying to think of the game. It wasn't Knights of the Old Republic. It was Deus Ex. The typhoon in the Deus Ex ability is what those little whistling birds are. And then, guys, finally, I like Alex's criticisms. Otherwise, it will truly just be a circle jerk because we love The Mandalorian. And so when Alex looks at it with a critical eye, I think that adds to the episode.
Job.
That's our fucking job, right? No, I agree. So episodes, ratings, and then also it's really hard to rate these episodes individually.
Yeah.
So, because some people were saying, well, you give this one a 10 while you give this other movie a 7. Don't compare an individual series episode rating with a movie rating. They are within the show itself and shouldn't be taken out of context. We will do a series rating at the end, an overall series rating.
Yes.
And finally, the most important thing that I have to say, give Jon Favreau and David Filoni their own trilogy. I have spoken.
This is the way.
This is
like
the
you mean
way.
like movies?
You know, because they're looking for, they fired, they fired a bunch of directors.
Yes.
Then Ryan Johnson is wanting to do one. The Game of Thrones writer. If you're looking for somebody, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, give them a chance.
Or just don't.
I have spoken.
Don't do it. Don't make any more movies and continue to do this stuff, because this stuff is good. And I worry that with something like a movie that the studio would get more involved and then ruin it.
No, that's what I'm saying. Leave it up. The studio stays out of it
they
so
can't
far
help
with The
themselves.
Mandalorian, but The Mandalorian has been good. It's proven good. So while Alex may not immediately agree, thank you for agreeing, Joe. Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, they deserve their own trilogy. I have spoken. This is the way. All right, back to the episode. Okay, so I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. It was more of a sort of calmer episode, little less action-packed. However, there was tons of action in this one, too. Actually, never mind. Quite possibly the biggest boss battle we've seen so far as the Mandalorian takes on an ATST. But so what happens right after the last episode? We thought maybe he might go back to the planet with
Nick Nolte.
Nick Nolte.
No.
But no.
We didn't get Nick Nolte.
He wanted to find the most isolated planet to hide out on for a few months until the heat dissipates, and then he'll figure out what to do next. Finds this sort of galactic shrimp fishing farming operation.
They do.
Krill.
Right. And sort of, tries to hide out there. And what we get is a little mini, what would you call, Magnificent Seven Samurai kind of setup.
It was still very good.
It was extremely trophy.
It was.
It's starting to get to the point where it's like, are they throwing literally every trope they can on screen?
Yeah.
Where, the whole thing where it's, they're farmers, they don't know how to fight. The village puts together all their money. They're like, hey, we need help because we are being raided by
Space Rufus.
Space Rufuses.
Rufus. What are we talking about?
It's his bulldog.
Alex's bulldog, because they all have the
They have a droopy, hideous but kind of adorable face. So
yeah. So they are raided by these pirates regularly, destroying their harvests. So they see the Mandalorian. They know the stories, and they ask, "Oh, you're hiding out. Can you help us? We'll pay you." And he's like, "It's not nearly enough, right?" And they do the whole, okay, well, we'll help you, but we got to teach them how, right? And essentially, you then get
I
these.
thought they were going to break into a song and dance like Mulan.
Yeah. Let's get down to business.
2 feet. I was like, oh, come on.
I know, right?
Very
These
trophy.
training, they have fucking sticks.
The guy wasn't
against
even
an
holding it the
8.
right way. She has it's the pointy way. I was
Yeah.
like, really?
It
Come
was-
on,
it
they're
was
not
like-
that dumb.
It's like the Men in Tights one where he's teaching the
Yeah, it basically, they teach these farmers to take on galactic,
just some
what would you call it,
outlaws.
pirates
Yeah.
who manage to circumvent or capture an ATST from the Imperials. And it's ridiculous. It's hard to really suspend your disbelief. And it would be possible to suspend my disbelief if the episode was a little longer.
It was
right?
definitely very short.
Now the episode lengths are really starting to hurt the show in what they want to do. Now, I'm not saying this didn't work. It definitely worked. I enjoyed it. The laser battles were awesome. There was tension. There was cool strategy. But I've just seen it a lot. And I was hoping that they would put their own spin on it. And there was no their own spin on it.
Exactly.
It was just executed pretty, to the trope, right? We get, these scenes with the little baby Yoda. So they land on the planet. And he continues to be the cutest thing on Earth. Joe, our resident baby Yoda.
I can't see it. It's
Yeah.
screen.
He's like, stay here in the ship. And I'm going to go in and the little baby.
He's pushing buttons.
He's pushing. Oh, he was
Yeah.
No, you push the button. I push the button. Stop pushing buttons. Push the button. All right, fine. And he's like, stay here. But no, then the little baby Yoda follows him. And I'm like, damn, he's going to have to walk
It's like
slow.
walking anywhere with him.
He's going to have to
not
walk
that
slow as
bad.
hell. That's how Joe walks.
Well, I have longer strides than he does.
Well, that's true. Yes.
Joe, do you walk like that?
No.
Okay. Anyway, it was the cutest thing because they go to a bar in this little village, and the baby, you get this little cat creature that attack that
Loft cat.
right, snaps at it, and I'm like, "What are you doing, Mandalorian? Just keep this baby in your
He
hands."
needs a carrier. I have a design for a carrier
See,
that
there
we
you
could
go.
use where you
Strap
just
it on.
strap him right there. And
Disney. This is something I wanted to talk about at the end of the episode. I'll talk about it now. Your merchandise for Baby Yoda is garbage. Have you seen on
have
their
not.
official website? It's just basically a baseball tee with the concept art of Baby Yoda in a square. Just the laziest fucking shit. And then a coffee cup with the concept art in a square. It is the laziest shit. Not even take it from the show, take it from the concept art, even though that concept art is slightly cuter. There's no dolls and plushies. Or what I want is I want a backpack like this Chewbacca.
And this is 10 years old. Like, I got this
Yeah.
up almost maybe it was 10 years. Yeah, almost 10 years ago.
That is the
And I
cutest
want-
thing.
yeah.
I know you can't see its face because it's hidden in all its fur, but it is the cutest thing. I would totally buy that backpack. And you know what? I would fucking wear it in public, and I don't give a shit.
Damn.
I'm a 35-year-old man.
I'm a grown man. Well, so
I'm
no
a
one says
grown
anything when I wear this.
Yeah, well,
too big.
You don't wear that in
That's
public,
true, I
Alex. I'd like to see you wear it in
I
public.
will. Let's go somewhere.
All right.
Done.
Once I get my Baby Yoda backpack, give us our goddamn Baby Yoda merchandise correctly, please. I actually am looking on Etsy to see if I can get one crocheted. So,
I saw an amazing one on Reddit this morning that someone did a very good job.
okay, maybe we got to contact
I
them.
saw some
I
claymation-
hopefully
some
I'll have a Baby
claymation
Yoda from Etsy by the end of our series. Anyway, so back to the episode. The introduction of Cara Dune. I was hoping for a little bit more of an impactful introduction, but she just so happens to be on the same planet, which makes sense. She's a shock trooper, but I don't really understand her backstory. Did that sort of why is she not with the Republic?
That's not what she signed up for. She didn't want to do.
Yeah, she started doing things where it's like you're on protection
Right.
duty and you're handling diplomats. She's like, this
Yeah.
one I signed up for. So
Yeah.
it sounds like she's AWOL.
Okay,
She's
that's
left.
why, and that's why she's hiding out. And they could, and she was concerned that
He was tracking her, yeah.
and she was a contract. Got it. Okay, that makes much more sense. I like it. And she has a fight scene with him.
She, in everything that she's in, Gina Carino, she is such a believable action star because I'm so tired of watching some of these scenes where it's like men or women where it's just like you don't look like you know what you're doing. It's uncomfortable. And when she pile drives people in this episode, it's just
fucking
like,
sweet.
man, that is, I feel for whoever that is because that person got pile drive.
Yeah, no, I love her performance. I love her action, and she's believable as a Republic Commando. Yeah. Yes, she's a girl, and yes, she's beautiful. But I believe that she will kick your fucking ass. And she does kind of kick the Mandalorian's ass. The fight didn't end. They end in the guns pointed at each other. Classic.
And in his defense, or in the fight's defense, neither of them were really trying. They weren't in like kill mode. He didn't even have his weapon drawn. He's just walking around to see what's happening.
She's punching his helmet.
Well, yeah, she's not trying to kill him.
But the little baby Yoda stops the fight by.
Oh, you hear slurping. Yeah, and they both turn.
Cutest thing ever. Yeah. And as the episode's going along, they're doing this thing where it's like, oh, look at how fun Baby Yoda is having with the children, and this is where he belongs. And I'm all thinking to myself, no! No! I want Baby Yoda to stay with the Mandalorian. This is a terrible place for him. They did a good job on that. I
was like, all right, good. You didn't leave him behind.
There was no way they were ever going to leave him there.
Well, apparently me and Joe were like,
thing you could do. Yeah, because
they're going to leave his ass behind. But thankfully, during the episode, it is shown that a bounty hunter with a fob is still tracking Yoda and actually gets Yoda in his sights and fires. My heart skipped a beat. I was like, what are you doing?
Like, no way.
No way he's dead?
Yeah.
Is that the fake out? That's the second fake out shot? Where how many of those are we going to get in the whole series where someone's going to go take a shot to kill Yoda and the good guy kills him, but we see it off screen? Yodle, whatever. It's like,
I thought Yodle. I'm pushing Yodle hard. I'm sorry.
I know you are.
I'm sorry.
It's like
Disney, please listen to us. But I thought Yodle maybe would have caught the bolt or something. I'm like, God damn, boy.
That would have been cool.
But no, the shot that was heard was actually Cara Dune saving Yodle's life and realizing that, this is not a safe place for him. They know where he's at. And he stays with
I was like, how could you even think about that? When who has a tracker? Everyone does. I was like, I'm gonna leave him here.
I'm gonna leave him here.
No, they shouldn't even cross your mind.
I know it was dumb, and I didn't like that part. And then also going back to the trophy battle where you're training the village of poor non-fighters.
Yeah, and we didn't really get any backstory on the widow.
Yeah, why can she shoot?
Like, who could shoot here? She's like, me.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
it was too short.
Let's find out. Yeah, I wanted to know that.
And I'm not saying it couldn't have worked, and it does work all right within the time allotted. But it would have really worked if it was a double episode. Yep. If it was 2 episodes and it was a little mini arc and they had more time to develop her, to develop the villagers, to give us a reason. Yeah, and there might be a few ex-vets that have retired and that are farmers that might have made more sense. But for them to point out how big of a thing this ATST is, where it literally takes out, what did she say, whole squads, if not more, of trained soldiers, and it's going to go up against a fucking village
with sticks.
But it's not sticks. But it's not Imperials using it. It's right. It's a.
Oh my God! Is that Alex coming to the defense? Well, I thought I would have to bring that point.
No,
up.
I mean it's like it was probably abandoned. It's probably not the most recent one.
Yeah, and these pirates are probably stupid as fuck.
Yeah, they have Rufus brains. They're bulldog monsters, and so it's just like we don't know.
Yeah, I like it how they kind of make it look like a monster kind of rising.
Oh, the red eye thing was like
I'm like Alex is not gonna like this
red eye. It was
thing.
a little over top, but it had provided really cool scenes, and so I don't hate it.
That's just like it's a monster.
I don't hate
here's a real.
No, I liked it. I liked it red because it kept it different from how the Imperials would use it. Of course, these pirates are gonna customize and make it more intimidating because you're right. They probably don't know how to operate the ATST. I was gonna bring that up in his defense, but you didn't think it was bad. You caught on as well.
Yeah.
So yes, that might have evened the odds a little bit more, but it turns into it's like, oh, this is our chance, and then they all come out from behind cover. I'm like, what are you doing? If the ATST just walked up and just started going on all those battlements, it's over.
Yeah.
But instead, they just fire over the head and hit the houses in the background.
They could have just gone under it and just put a grenade.
I thought it was going to be a little more clever. I thought they were going to, Ewok it up in there, with the bash.
No.
That would have been, yes, come on, man. That would have been fucking sweet. But no, they just used the krill fishing lakes or holes that were already there. It's like you guys didn't even really do anything. You were like, come closer. And these pirates were like, well, I know I can't step there, so I'll stop. And then And then next they just, let me step there. Oh, no!
Well, so Bryce Dallas Howard has been watching a lot of Predator. There's a lot of Predator in this episode, right? Predator? He turns on the Predator vision. He's following footsteps a bunch of times.
That was a Witcher thing.
And then he's sitting down, and, you've seen Predator, right? He builds a trap for the Predator walk through.
No, these traps weren't that good. I'm saying the traps they used weren't traps. They were just things that were already there in the farm. But I would have enjoyed it.
Yeah, they dug out the punji pit, and he's like, "Sitting, kill me."
Okay, yes, they did dig out the ditch, but I thought it was
no.
No.
But anyway, you got to admit, as much as I liked it, and I did like it, I'm starting to see that the overuse of tropes, and it might be, granted, Bryce Dallas Howard. I got a little bit of dyslexia. This is our first time directing.
Yeah.
This is her directorial debut. Yes, her father is really good. He's a good director, solid director. Save Solo. And so she's getting her feet wet. And so I guess I can't really expect her to, wow me with her direction, and especially when she's learning on the job. She said, and I watched her interviews, she surrounded herself with, successful people who know how to do it, and we're kind of coaching her. John Favreau, Dave, a bunch of different people.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was written. I mean, she didn't write everything, right?
No,
so
she
just
written by John.
And I don't think I had a problem with anything as far as the direction of it goes. The way everything looked, I think it looked great.
But I don't see anything new from a directorial standpoint. And you're right, Joe, that it's actually John's writing here that might have been a little weaker than in previous episodes. I noticed some of the dialogue wasn't as poignant, and it wasn't. It seemed a little generic, and it was relying a lot on a little bit of that, Seven Samurai kind of trope where it's like, let me teach a village to fight back. Yeah. And I'm not so sure it works with these farmers versus an ATST and
an inexperienced one, which they could have just
They can't even hold.
They could have just ran behind because that thing was not very mobile.
But it's still made for an entertaining episode. And Cara Dune, I was sad that I didn't get to see her use. I was just expecting her to come out with a Gatling gun or something. But I guess, and I saw that in the trailer, so that must be a different scene.
Yeah, because I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to meet up again, because they didn't join together. Just like, all right, well, I'll see you when I see you.
Right.
So,
well, until our paths cross again.
Building. Yeah.
And that might be the quote for this episode, till our paths cross. And she's coming back. But it's like the Mandalorian is making friendships all across the galaxy. And what is going to happen where he calls in all of his friends? Are we going to see IG-11? Are we going to see Nick Nolte? Are we going to see Cara Dune? And what is the explanation for them all coming together at once? It's going to be quite interesting. So let's go to some final verdicts, right?
Do you want to go first?
Is there anything else that you wanted to discuss in the episode? Oh, there was a little bit of a hint of a love story, right? Where
it ties in back to with the tropes.
Yeah, the tropes. But here, I don't hate it, but I felt that it wasn't earned yet because we didn't spend enough time.
It was too quick.
Yeah, they laid it on real thick.
They laid it on thick. Like, why? I mean, does he just like every single girl he sees?
Well, to me, it just felt like, okay, he's been gone for a while. He's just a man with some needs.
He's a man with
needs.
There
was no development there.
Yeah, okay, I got you, Joe. No, maybe, but she wanted more than that. She was like, you could stay with us. We all want you to stay. And Cara Dune's like, why do you do this Mandalorian thing? You could be here with this beautiful woman,
but he can't.
And your son. I like how she calls him your boy. It was either your boy or your son, one of them. And I was like, yes. That is my boy.
But once he takes off the helmet, he can't put it back on.
He can't put it back on.
He explains.
She's like, yeah, you could take it off and then put it back on whenever. He's like, no, he can't. He just said that. Well, I guess she was there.
But Joe, we actually do see the Mandalorian take his helmet off in this episode.
Well, we also kind of...
However, it was not around anybody. It's to eat. And I was always wondering, how the fuck do they eat?
The internet is very concerned with, how does this guy eat? Does he straw? Everything's a smoothie?
Do they put it on under...
Yeah.
Stick the food up under the helmet. No, they take it off and they eat, probably in private.
Did we get, official confirmation in this episode that he is not of the Mandalorian tribe? He was just raised by them, right? Is this the first time we got a hard confirmation that he's found by the Mandalorian, and
that's still not hard. That is hard because he did say I was found.
Yeah,
and they raised me.
And they raised me.
I think this is a huge plot point that we needed to discuss. He is definitely adopted by the Mandalorian. So that does give further weight to episode 1, 2, 3, where some of his motivations are. You can kind of prod him. You remember Nick Nolte was saying, I thought you were a Mandalorian. This taming this blurg should be easy. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I'm a Mandalorian. And I liked it. So I liked that storyline. And I was telling the guys that maybe we'll see in the future who actually saved him. And I was going between two theories. My first obvious theory was it was a Mandalorian, right? Mm-hmm. But what are the Mandalorians doing fighting the separatist droid forces?
They're probably just protecting the people or something.
And then I thought, what if Disney Plus shows their face? You're talking about corporate influence from Disney. What if Disney's like, all right, here's what I want you to do. And this is actually good corporate influence in the end, if you hear what I'm saying. What if it's Obi-Wan?
Well, hello there.
Oh, shit. He pulls a well, hello there. Yeah. After he kills the droid because what? Because this is, the Clone Wars. He could possibly be fighting the droids at that time. And you get a little tiny bit of Obi-Wan, and it's like, watch my series next year.
You have to be much older, right?
I don't know exactly where in the timeline or how young he was in that.
Oh, I guess, because we don't know how old he is.
That's his in his past. Yeah. But I do think that there's still separatist forces around. Yeah. There's still droids. And at that time, Obi-Wan was fighting the droids. So
I'm in.
That could be fucking sweet. We could see that clone trooper armor that he used to wear to make his squad, feel like he was more one of them. He wasn't in all the Jedi robes that some of the other. I liked that. Anakin did that a little too. So I'm hoping against hope that we see hello there, that we see Ewan McGregor reprise his role.
I hope he says that.
Yeah. That would be amazing.
Yes.
I would give it a 10 out of 10.
11
out of 10.
11
out of 10.
Hello there.
for the memes.
Please. I don't know if that's smart. But it's probably going to be a Mandalorian that saves him. That makes more sense.
Yeah. The blacksmith.
Because why then would Obi-Wan leave a child with the Mandalorians? That doesn't seem like
he's a big fan of abandoning children with people.
Well, he has experience with good Mandalorians, so maybe that might still work. But, I see what you're saying. No, whatever, Alex. All right, so let's go to some final verdicts, unless you guys had anything else you wanted to.
I think that this episode was really good other than the length. I think that the abbreviated length of everything had a hard time making me buy that this woman really wants him to stay.
We're at 42 minutes, but there was a recap.
A recap. I mean, so 40 minutes maybe. I mean, it just the thing is, like,
credits too. So we're down into the 30s again.
When we see this type of story, and we've seen this type of story over and over, Seven Samurai and the Magnificent Seven, and the Magnificent Seven Rides Again, and then the other one that they just made that I didn't like all that much. So we've seen the story, and it takes about an hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes to really get through everything. Yeah. And they did everything in a much shorter period of time. So I didn't. The motivations for certain things, like his attitude kind of changes on a dime in certain times where he's just, and sometimes they explain it where he's like, oh yeah, I can go out there, I can be remote. And that time I buy it. But there's times where he's presented with a situation, he's like, you're right, I should stay here. Mm-hmm. And it's like, nah, you need to give me a couple more scenes to make me feel that they've grown attached, that he's like giving him more scenes of watching baby Yoda grow up there. And he's like, yes, I do want to leave it.
Right. You could buy it more. Yeah. Alex is not saying that he doesn't, they shouldn't have said that, because he does say it would be nice.
Yeah.
He doesn't say, I'm going to do it. He just he considers it in the back of his mind. And you can buy that more if the episode was twice the length.
Yeah, I think that I still really liked it. I think I'm still going to give it an 8 out of 10. But it loses those 2 points because I don't mind that the trope so much. I just think if you're going to do these things, you have to do them really, really well. And they weren't done they weren't done very well. They were just done pretty well.
An 8?
8 out of 10.
Oh, I expected a 7. Excellent. What about you?
I actually agree with an 8. I wanted some more character development, which there wasn't enough. And yeah, he did say, we've been here for like a week or something. But there wasn't enough to say, it's like, hey, you should stay here. Right. And him warrant. It's like, he's having fun here. I'm going to leave him.
Especially the romantic.
And I really liked what they did with the ATST. like made like into a creature. I was like, oh, that's pretty.
Did you hear it growl at one
Yeah,
point?
I was like,
RoboCop.
I like that, but they didn't do enough with it. They needed to take some creative liberties or something, but it was just kind of.
It slipped and fell and it got destroyed.
They got grenaded.
Yeah,
they could have done that in the beginning.
I know. Like I said, it was too short. Like if it had been 20 minutes longer, we get all those things. I think.
Yeah, and like I said, I also wanted to hear what her thing was that she could shoot. It's like, why are you so good at shooting?
Right.
You're like amazing at it.
They planted that seed. Is this Chekhov's gun?
Yeah, everyone else was
training
training to be stormtroopers. Everyone's like missing everything.
Oh, Joe said that. So when the farmers were firing, Joe goes, "Well, they're good enough to be stormtroopers." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right, Joe. So maybe they can take on an ATST."
When they were doing that, and like they were missing everything, and I just got we mentioned Robin Hood Men in Tights. Like we should just bring the dummies into battle. And just
that was a great scene in that.
So
watch that.
It was an 8 for me.
Yeah. Okay. I expected y'all guys to be harsher. I really want to go with a 9 because I'm loving all this show. I love that boss battle with the ATST, but I can't bring myself to do it. I think that the length of the episodes are really starting to hurt it. If you want to tell this story, you totally can. But why are you rushing through it? It feels like you did a whole movie's worth in about 30 minutes, and it's being crushed under the breakneck pace. And some of the things are harder to buy. The relationship, I'm going to leave behind this child who I just fought an entire guild for, instantly.
And made my clan move.
All these different things. You can buy it. I'm just saying it needs that extra step. Yeah. And, but other than that, the battles, the acting, it's all very, very solid, especially the visuals. This is top-notch stuff. We're still 10 out of 10 with creative visuals, those scenes at the end, the little slideshows. And you're like, yes, man, it was that beautiful to look at this whole time. 10 out of 10 there. But here I'm going to have to issue my first 8 out of 10. Because I think those things take a little bit away from it. Now, you might disagree, but
happens.
That's the way I see it. And but I am hopeful for the future. Now, it puts a little damper on things because we're at the halfway point now.
That sucks.
This is episode 4 out of 8, and I'm starting to realize that it's not going to be this 8-hour series that I want. Maybe. I mean, they haven't released all the different, run times. But going by what's been going on, you're averaging it out. It's probably going to average out, if it's been about 30 minutes each one, it's probably going to average out to about 4.5 hours.
I think the last one, they'll give it a little bit longer. Maybe go up to an hour or something like that to push it to 5 hours.
I hope. So. 5, 6, 7. But here's my thing with this is I don't know whether this was a Disney Plus decision or whether this was a Jon Favreau or Kathleen Kennedy. Who do I blame for wanting to do cartoon length series, 30-minute length stuff instead of an hour, right? And you can get certain stories told in that time, but a story like this really needed a double episode.
Exactly.
So, all right, guys, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I also want to thank our sponsors, Stardust, who is sponsoring you guys, one of you lucky winners.
And a friend.
And all expenses paid.
Yeah, he can be a friend.
Hotel, travel, and tickets to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. We are very jealous, sirs and or madams. If you click the link down below, download the app, follow us, and react to one of our reactions or to one of our comments, you're automatically entered to win. And your chances to win are really great. So use this opportunity to go over there in December or whenever the ticket is. I think it's December. And enjoy yourself with a friend because it is honestly a good time to be a Star Wars fan right now with The Mandalorian, with the upcoming Kenobi. As far as Rise of the Skywalker, we're less than a month away. I think we're almost 3 weeks away from it.
Are you still excited?
my excitement has dissipated into nervousness, Joe, because I really want them to do justice to all these characters, and I'm realizing that what Disney has done is nothing but shit on the old legacy characters.
Fear the dark side.
Are we going to continue to shit on these old legacy characters, and will there be a satisfying conclusion? We'll find out. But if they fuck it up, I'll be the first one to call them out. I don't know what that sounded like.
You know, it sounded fun.
Okay.
They heard everything.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. And, another great episode. And hopefully this series has so much left in store. And I think it does based on the trailers. We haven't even seen that
Machine gun.
We haven't seen her use her
doing?
machine gun. We haven't seen Bill Burr. We haven't seen those dark troopers or whatever they're gonna call those particular troopers. If they're the ones from Rogue One, I'm not sure. And of course, Mandalorian get his jetpack.
Yeah, he
set it up.
Gotta get
Does
his
set
jetpack.
it up. They're actually making a toy of that heavy Mandalorian.
Oh, the thick boy?
Yeah, the thick boy. Though I already knew that. Where are the Yodles? Please call it the child if you still haven't decided who you want to call him. But guys, at this point, do you? No more information on the child. No more information on his origins. My main leading theories are he's either a clone
or
of
was
Yoda.
destined to be cloned.
Well, there's three possibilities: cloned, the baby of Yoda and Yodle, or just a completely brand new species. But where is his father and mother? How was he taken off planet? Where is the planet? And what the hell is the species name?
Tell me more.
We shall see. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Leave your comments down below on what you think. And, we'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.